Did you know the L in IoT stands for longevity? IoT, of course, being the abbreviation of Internet of Things. IoT devices are everywhere, from washing machines, toothbrushes, vacuum cleaners and fridges, to even light switches. But there's a certain type of this technology that poses a risk of becoming rapidly obsolete. Amazon and Google both have released devices utilizing this form of technology, known as cloud-only devices. Physical products that require online services to function. Both Amazon and Google have had at least one product where they've had to shut down the required server. In Amazon's case, about a year after the product first launched, leaving customers left with devices that are now nothing but e-waste. Go shopping for a new appliance and IoT is crammed into just about everything. And while these appliances offer some kind of internet-enabled functions or their own app to offer users more functionality, they don't need them in order to perform their intended function. But some newly emerging devices completely rely on a remote server to operate at all. So while you pay hundreds of dollars of your real, hard-earned money, if the manufacturer stops supporting the device, it ceases to function, becoming nothing more than e-waste. Some may be okay with this reality if it was guaranteed to be supported for 10 years. But some have lasted less than a year. The Amazon Glow is a $300 video calling and gaming device for kids that lasted just 1 year and 1 month after being introduced before Amazon axed the online services needed to use the device. I understand sometimes you need to pull the plug on a product that isn't doing well. According to Verge, customers were thankfully receiving full refunds for the device. The Glow was part of Amazon's early adopters program, which explains its short lifespan and the reason they likely received a refund. But it shows you even a company as large as Amazon can shut down servers that these cloud-only devices rely on. Another example, canned around the same time, is AWS Glow C. This $89 smart plug with air quality monitoring deliberately had its support pulled. So while it continues to collect data, it's keeping that knowledge to itself, as the company removed the ability for the device to work with its app. One other big name example was Google's Stadia, a cloud gaming service that lasted around 3 years. Like Amazon and its Glow, they did refund customers for the device and purchases. Google also issued an update that allowed the controllers to work wirelessly with other devices. So it's great to see the world's largest companies refunding its customers for these axed products, but it doesn't mean the smaller companies will. If you buy an online dependent device, there's a high chance one day it'll stop working. Whether that's in 6 months or 10 years is something you probably won't know when purchasing. The writer of one of the articles I've been referencing mentioned he already had boxes full of dead devices in his garage, and his Amazon Glow was added to that carnage. It's amazing to think of the waste that comes from these limited lifespan products. I'm sure there's some people out there who will find a way to repurpose a few, but most customers will simply throw them away when the company drops support. It appears to me that many companies are trying to sell you things that are environmentally friendly or sustainable, as if that's a way of fixing the bigger issues. I can't imagine a large tech company is going to get up and say to keep your old phone, using it longer will benefit the environment. That would be bad business to say, because they want to make money, so they make people feel better about purchasing a new one, using the environment as a way to do that. Many state just recycle your old tech, but recycling isn't some magical black box that fixes the world's waste issues. It takes a lot of manpower, machinery, and energy to reclaim and separate precious metals from everything else. There are valid use cases for these devices, such as monitoring if a heater has been left on in a holiday rental, or being able to monitor critical things such as CCTV cameras remotely. But with this being a very volatile area of technology, it's hard to invest hundreds or thousands kitting out your home if there's a chance it's all going to stop working in a few years. If a product also has local functionality, meaning you can use it without the internet or an account, that typically means you have more control over it. But that doesn't always mean you have full control. It can still be locked down, preventing any alternative software, modifications, or repairs. If you want the most amount of customization and are set on adopting the Internet of Things, there are plenty of open source solutions and software that can help you achieve that, giving you better control over devices and security. But even so, some things are just better left off the internet. I have a friend who owns a smart vacuum cleaner, and I don't mean one of those robotic ones, but just a regular stick vacuum. I asked why it needed an app on his phone. He showed me. It records how long you've been vacuuming for. Why would anyone need to know that? It's just a gimmick, another app, another account, another service collecting your information. I've seen ads for smart washing machines that you can start using your voice assistant from another room. Hear me out. If you already have to fill it with clothes, why not just use the inbuilt control panel? Who'd put the clothes in and then walk away only to yell across the room at the smart assistant to start the washing? Or what about a fridge with its own app? You know, for all those times when you're out of the house and you just really need to adjust the temperature of the fridge? I tell you, the thought of not being able to do that is the sort of thing that keeps me awake at night. Of course, I'm kidding. I've also seen sponsorships from companies selling products such as CCTV cameras that need a subscription to work, as there's no central recorder or storage built into the cameras, and the footage is stored entirely on the cloud. If you stop paying or the company stops the storage service for an older model, you're left with cameras that won't work. And it's hard to know how long these IoT products will receive security patches for. After all, they connect to the internet. This could be an attacker's way of entering your wider network. There are real-world examples where hackers have gained access into a network through an air conditioner that was connected to the internet. Take an IoT light switch, for example. Will it work in 6 months? 5 years? What happens when it's discontinued? My light switches work as well today as they did when they were installed almost 90 years ago. You don't need to reinvent the light switch, just flick down for on, up for off. No software, no remote kill switch, no dependency on any company. Just a few pieces of brass, a spring and a bit of Bakelite. So if you want to save money and create less e-waste, I recommend you steer clear of devices and gadgets that solely rely on a remote server, as they could end up useless and a waste of money in a short period of time. That's not to say you should avoid IoT altogether, but plan for the future. Will it work if there's no internet? Can it be used on just a local network so that it can still be controlled with a phone, but only when you're in the house? And what information are these little devices collecting and sharing with third parties or the manufacturer? These are the kind of things most overlook when they see an IoT device. Just because it's from a big company doesn't mean they'll continue to host the required services for as long as you'd like them to, or keep them as secure as you might expect. And on that note, this has been a Hugh Jeffries video. If you like what you saw, consider subscribing and check out the playlist for tech that's not what it seems. If you're looking for any used devices, be sure to check out my online store, link for which is down in the description. That's all for this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.